So I'm testing a new recipe tonight and I thought I would share it with you and we'll see how it turns out. I wanted to do some stuffed Swiss chard leaves. So we're going to be making, this is kind of going to have a Greek theme to it. So like you'd be doing stuffed grape leaves or cabbage leaves, or if you were even like doing a burrito, but we're going to use the Swiss chard leaves, or you could use mustard green leaves as well. And I steamed these in my Instapot for just about a minute, maybe just barely a tablespoon of water. I left the trivet in the bottom of the pot and took the big stem off of the Swiss chard and steamed these, like I said, for about a minute. I had already taken my meat, and you can definitely use any kind of ground meat you want, ground turkey, you could use hamburger. We're going to do lamb tonight because, like I said, this has got a Greek theme to it. And I cooked up the ground meat with some finely chopped onion, about a quarter of a small onion, and maybe about half of a green pepper, and I chopped those up. I seasoned the meat with salt, and I used my everyday blend, and I used my Borsari cracked pepper, and I just cooked it until it was done, and then I added a little bit of balsamic. Here's the balsamic that I used. We actually get this in Italy, but you could use whatever balsamic that you can find at the grocery store, but try to get a better quality one. And I added a drizzle of that just to season up the meat. Now, if you don't have balsamic or you don't like it, you can also use some Worcestershire sauce. And that just adds a little bit more flavor to the meat. Okay, what I did now was I added, before I want to stick it in and roll it, you could use rice to add to this. Or I actually found this grain-free cassava orzo, so I thought I would try it. And it actually turned out pretty good. I just cooked it per the box instructions, and I was adding a little bit of that. Like I said, you could use rice if you wanted, or you could use regular orzo, or you could use tabbouleh, whatever, bulgur wheat, whatever you wanted to use. But I wanted to use this cassava orzo that I found just to see how it was, since it was definitely gluten-free. This would also be a good filling for stuffed peppers. You could add a little bit of tomato sauce to it and make it for stuffed peppers. But like I said, we're going to roll it in the Swiss chard leaves. Okay, after I mentioned to you about the stuffed peppers and adding a little tomato to it, I actually decided to go ahead and try that. So I put just 2 squirts of this tomato paste. Looks like it's turned the lettering on you there, but it's Amore tomato paste made in Italy. I love to keep this on hand. This is actually what the box looks like. I love to keep this on hand, especially if I need just a little bit of tomato paste, instead of opening that whole little, even if it's just a 4-ounce can of it, then you have all that left over, and if you get it in the tube, you just get what you need. And I just put like 2 squirts in here, and now we're ready to go. I have my pan. I've sprayed it with a cooking spray so it didn't stick very much, and or hopefully not at all. And I'm going to just put my filling in, and we're going to just roll it up like a burrito. Kind of fold the ends in and roll it. Actually, I'm going to cut this little, still got a little bit too thick a stem in there, and I'm just going to roll it up. And I'm going to cover it with foil when I cook it, so that the leaves will get a little bit softer yet. And when I cooked my meat, I used some fresh herbs. I used some parsley, some oregano, some fresh dill, and some fresh rosemary. So I'm going to keep wrapping these up, and then we'll put them in the oven. Okay, so I have them all wrapped, you can see. Now, you may, because you have to cut that stem out, you may need to kind of fold over where the leaves have kind of made a V. You may have to kind of fold them over so that you have more of a full surface. So I'm going to cover these with foil, and I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 for about, they need to heat through, and hopefully the Swiss chard will get a little bit softer. You can always steam yours a little bit more. When you steam them too much, they get where they really tear very easily and they're hard to work with. But we're going to put these in the oven and let them cook maybe about 20 to 30 minutes. I'll check them after 20. And I didn't put any kind of a sauce on this. You could definitely put a tomato sauce on the top if you want, but I'm going to make a tzatziki sauce that we're going to put with this. So let me get these covered and get them in the oven. Okay, after 20 minutes I took it out and I decided, you know, it's not Mediterranean, it's not Greek if you don't have feta cheese and if you don't have olives. Now obviously if you don't like feta, you can use whatever cheese you want. If you don't like olives, don't add them at all. But I'm going to cover it back up with foil and I'm going to put it back in. I didn't think it was quite warm enough. I'm going to put it back in for probably another 15 minutes. And in the meantime, I'll be making the tzatziki sauce. Now let's make up the tzatziki sauce. I've got a cup of yogurt. You can use regular Greek yogurt. You can use, for my dairy-free friends, you can use the Kite Hill plain unsweetened almond milk yogurt. I usually try to get the Greek version of this, but they didn't have any at the store. So I just got the regular. I like the Greek because it's a little thicker and it's a little tangier. But definitely use regular Greek yogurt, or you can use the almond milk dairy-free. So I have that in my bowl. I chopped up about almost half of this English cucumber. You can peel them if you want. With the English cucumbers, you really don't have to. I didn't. You do probably want to seed them just to get some of more of the moisture out, because the cucumbers do have a lot of water in them. I'm going to go ahead and add the cucumber. You can see it's just kind of all chopped up. I did 1 clove of garlic and it's minced. Put that in. I have about a tablespoon. It called for mint. I didn't get any mint, but I have parsley. So I've got about a tablespoon of parsley, fresh parsley. I have 2 tablespoons of fresh dill. And I have the zest of a lemon. I'm going to put that all in and stir it up, and then we're going to put some lemon juice in it. And this is going to be served with our Swiss chard stuffed leaves. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. And I'm going to add, clean my hands off here, I want to add some ground pepper. So we'll do a few twists of some ground pepper. Give that another little stir. And we will use our press here, and we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of the fresh lemon juice. That should do it. And to get the zest, I used my Pampered Chef. If you have one, any kind of zester would work, but I love my little Pampered Chef grater. I use it for pretty much everything. So let's give it another stir. Okay, let's give it a quick taste here. That is actually perfect. Just the way it is. Might add just a little bit more dill because I like a little more dill in it. but you definitely don't have to. So there we have our tzatziki sauce. Well, I took it out of the oven. I ended up leaving it in about 45 minutes all total. So let's serve it up now. I've got my plate here. We're gonna go in and we're gonna get one of these. If I can get in here without having it fall apart. And put a few of the olives. If you want, you can always put more feta on it at this point. But we're just gonna do a little dollop of tzatziki sauce on the top. And there you have it, ready to go. And you can serve it with a side dish. You have a gluten-free, dairy-free, I'm not sure what we call this other than stuffed Swiss chard Mediterranean. Bon appetito.